And hello people, this is your host, Iridium Axel here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the best melee weapons in Terraria and making a comparison of all of them. So, as you can see, I just went over the four I'm looking at: the Solar Eruption, the Star Wrath, the Meow Meow, and the Terrarian Yo-Yo, and I'm taking a few potions along with that. Anyway, this is going to be the first episode in a 4-part series telling you guys all about the different weapons and which one is the best. The 4th episode will compare magic, melee, and ranged to get you what is best. Here we can see the average damage per second of the Solar Eruption with all my buffs equipped. Now you're getting an average of about 5,000 here. And it can jump up to about 5,200 at some parts. I just keep hitting it on a target dummy just to get you a fair idea as to how much damage it does. And yeah. So I'm just going to keep hitting it for a while, get an average damage about 5,200 to 5,300. Now I'm going to go ahead and fight some Eyes of Cthulhu. This is to test its effectiveness on monsters, and for these I get an average DPS of about 4,500, simply because the target is moving. So I'm going to fight about 5 or so of these, get you an average damage, and that'll be that. I edited all of these videos earlier today, so if I'm a little bit behind on what's actually happening, that's because I'm trying to keep up with the video in my commentary. Yeah, so, anyway, here I think I might still be using the Solar Eruption for some reason, so each weapon of the 4 I'm showing you have their own special things. The Star Wrath acts a lot like the Lunar Flare, item I did a review on, and Meow Meow shoots flying bounty cats that explode. The Solar Eruption, as you can see what that's doing, and finally the Terrarian. The Terrarian acts a lot like the Flare-On Flail, only you can keep it out infinitely, and it just does insane DPS. Yeah. Also, you may have gotten a glimpse of the other things I was using, but that does not matter too much. Yeah. I think I'm about to finish fighting all these Eyes of Cthulhu's, in which case that will be a happy day in history. Like I said, about an average of 4,500 damage per second, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say on this subject. The Solar Eruption is definitely one of the best melee weapons. If it compares to the others, such as the Star Wrath here, you'll know it. Star Wrath gets an average of 5,000 DPS, and it can bump up to 5,500. It really just depends on critical strikes and stuff like that. That being said, it's definitely extremely helpful for long-ranged attack, as it can hit anywhere on screen, and it's not like older weapons that will just hit the blocks above you. It will go through blocks until it gets to the place where your mouse cursor is, and then it'll hit. That's extremely helpful for underground fighting, so it's still useful at that point. The average DPS on this guy against bosses is about 5,000. Though it does go down to 3,000, it depends on critical strikes, just like with everything else. The reason it makes such a difference between potions or not potions is because, like, the potions I am using is, sake, well-fed, rage and wrath, so those all increase damage. Sake only increases melee damage, but it just produces insane amounts of damage. Here, with all my buffs equipped, you can see I'm doing an average of 6,000 damage per second, and every once in a while it'll bump up even higher. So what that means is, for the single enemy combat, as of now, the Meowmere is the highest damage per second. First time Cthulhu got a damage per second of 5,000. Second one, about 4,300. That one was about 3,100. Alright. I think there's only like one or two more before this clip ends. /spawn boss if you want to know what I'm using to spawn these bosses, it's called T-Shock. One of the most simple servers to set up, external servers for Terraria to set up. I'll do a tutorial on it if you guys request. So if you want a tutorial for T-Shock, go ahead and tell me. And that is an interruption. One moment. Alright guys, sorry about that slight interruption. Now we are getting to the Terrarian. If you didn't know already, the best modifier for the Terrarian is Godly. I'm using the best modifier on all of these weapons, along with the best armor and accessories. Yeah, so to continue on, as you can see, the damage per second on this guy is holding steady at about 5,000, slowly dipping into 4,000 every now and then. So it's still quite powerful, but I would not say anywhere near the best weapon in the game at this point in the video. I'm just going to continue to fight it here. You may notice my voice is a bit loud, and that is because I accidentally left the gain up on my microphone, and at this point in the narration, I do not have the time to stop it, nor do I really feel like it, because I can turn it down in post-production, but it's still going to have problematic things. As you can see there, I got a 4,500 damage per second, which is a pretty fair number. 2,200 there. Fight another eye. Close to 4,500 again. It really depends on everything you're doing. So I'm going to end the narration here and continue in 1 second for my final thoughts. So, what was my final verdict on the strongest weapon in Terraria 1.3, or strongest melee weapon, that is? It was the Meowmere. The Meowmere came out on top for single weapon highest DPS, and not to mention, it was just all around good, as it fired projectiles, had extremely fast swinging speed, and also worked well for bosses. So, in the next episode, we're going to be covering magic weapons. Anyway, that's about it for this episode. Thanks a ton for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. This is your host, Iridium Axel here, and people keep messaging me as soon as I start recording. Today we are playing Scribblenauts, episode 4.